Hey guys, what is up? This is Unscripted Intelligence. We are here live at FETC. As you know, this is a podcast that talks about human intelligence, artificial intelligence, how they intersect, and how they impact everything from education to the workforce.
Hi everyone, I'm Michelle Ament, the Chief Academic Officer for ProSolve and the co-president of the Human Intelligence Movement. The Human Intelligence Movement is a grassroots organization that is dedicated to ensuring that we have the uniquely human skills we need to thrive in an AI world.
My name is Arvin, your other co-host, and I happen to be the co-founder of ProSolve, the Human Skills Company. We focus on making the invisible visible. But today, we are here with the Human Intelligence Movement and Unscripted Intelligence, and we are live at FETC.
Yes, we are! And it has been a day.
It has been a
I don't
day.
know about you, Kelly, but I'm tired. Are you tired?
Yes, I'm extremely tired. It feels like a big, massive shopping. Like I don't have to do Disney World, and I'm here in Orlando.
That's great. Well, let's kick things off. Introduce yourself and tell us your role.
Yeah.
And let's learn a little bit about you.
Sure. Okay. Well, hi everyone. I'm Kelly Vaughn, and I serve as the dean for the School of Education at Notre de Namur University, which is located in Belmont, San Francisco Bay Area, California.
Fantastic. And I am just so proud to say that NDNU is one of our sponsors of the Human Intelligence Movement and a partner of ours, as we're really trying to think differently about teacher education and what does it mean in higher ed to really support young emerging educators in building the human intelligences that students will need in an AI world. So Kelly, I would love for you to tell us about some of the ways that you're doing that. How are you rethinking teacher education?
Wow. Do you have a week?
No,
I know. Okay. This spans from the 4 initiatives that we have in the School of Education. But I want to emphasize that the foundation of those 4 initiatives, which is the first one, is social, emotional, and cultural competencies, which drives the other 3.
Absolutely.
And one of which is AI.
Okay.
AI in teacher ed. And I've had a beautiful brain trust of people. Stacy, who's out there, is definitely one of them. Partners with Center for Reaching and Teaching the Whole Child. They're based in San Francisco, California, but they do teacher ed prep with that framework. And then some amazing partners along with Human Intelligence Movement. The CDE Foundation Residency Lab has been a great supporting thinking partner along.
So how many programs center SEL as the first? Well, you said 2 things: SEL and cultural competency.
Yeah.
How many programs center that as the first thing that they kind of is foundational and prioritized? Would you say? I mean, is it a lot? Is that pretty common? What do you think?
Oh, well, California is a very interesting, very highly regulated place in teacher education. And so a lot of teacher ed programs, universities across California, they focus a lot on compliance and meeting with the California Teaching Commission standards.
Okay.
And so they do have it in their standards, but it's not necessarily practiced, or there's not a sense of accountability to have it practiced. And so I would have to dare say we're probably one of maybe 2.
Wow.
Wow. So that actually is intentionally making the switch. And I have to say making the switch because we still have a lot to climb.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What would you say? So let me phrase a question like this and give you a little bit of preface with it. There's a lot of fear and conversation around AI replacing certain jobs, things like that. What are some things that are uniquely human that you do that can never be replaced by artificial intelligence?
Oh, well, for sure, it's the whole idea of collaborating and creating community. And from that is to basically form programs. We're in the teacher prep space, so we're training the next generation of teachers.
Right.
We don't go directly into the K-12 classroom, but it's to plant the seeds of what can be possible. And especially understanding their landscapes of the teacher assignments they would go into.
Yeah. I mean, seriously, I'm having flashbacks of my own teacher prep programming, and it was very much like, here's how you do your lesson plan, and here's how you read your textbook. Now, I of course am old, so I that was 30 years ago in 1996 when I was in my teacher prep program. But so I want to I want to hear, like, when you're making that shift, what does it look like to
Yeah.
center SEL? How is it different than maybe you've done in the past?
So what we're doing this year is with our partnership for Center Reaching Teaching the Whole Child, we're doing a 2-year process, and this is the first year.